Ann Cornick from Paint and Porcelain Exchange. I'm here to get beginners interested in China painting and hopefully help them get started, and also to encourage those of you that have been painting a while to paint along with us. And today we're going to be working on sunflowers. Now, we've done sunflowers before, but I'm doing it this time my way. A little bit different than I did the first time. Not quite as, a little more vibrant this time and a lot more colors. I have free line drawings available on my website, which is shop Paintnporcelain, P-A-I-N-T-N, porcelain, P-O-R-C-E-L-A-I-N. And you can go there and you can search for the line drawings. The line drawings are all free and they're internationally free. So you can get them no matter where you live. The studies that I have on there are only available in the US, and they're $5 if you get the downloadable study, which I don't think is too bad. You pay, go through the purchase process for either of them. If it's free, you don't pay. If it's $5, then you're charged, and then it comes to you in an email as an attachment. You download it and print it. And it's better to print it on white paper. And then I trace it on using, on the back, I get Sorel transfer paper. It's a red paper. This is a piece of it. It's a red paper. It's wax free. And the dark side you put down, the light side you leave up. And then you put this over the top of the light side and trace. And it will come off with the red that you see on here. See the red down here at the bottom? Now, I used a Sharpie, which is a fine permanent marker. That's this. And I used this over it. And that's what gave me the black lines on here. I would say if you don't need them, don't put them on, because all they do is they kind of get messed up in the paint and make the paint kind of a gray color, and it makes it harder to paint. But I put it on so that you can see it a little better when I'm painting. Let's talk about colors for today. I'm going to be using a bunch of really bright colors. Most of these you can find in your regular colors. I'm using Paula White's because I like her brightness to her colors for most of them. So this is Tahiti, which can also be, and you can see right next to it, this is the deep blue green. So these two colors are very similar. If you have deep blue green, that should work. This is my South Brown. I found dark orange works just as well. This is Sunflower. Now, I do like Sunflower. Egg is a brighter color, brighter yellow. The Sunflower has is a little deeper yellow. I have Cobalt here. I have a rich brown. I have a moss shading green, and pecan or yellow-brown is fine. And those would be good colors. Now, if you have something that's, so basically you need a bright yellow, not a light yellow. You need a deep blue-green if you have it, or a cobalt blue will work for the background just as well and be just gorgeous. You need an orange, and a light and dark green, and a dark brown, because you're going to use the dark brown in the center of this. So, okay, as far as, now I'm going to use this eraser. I don't know if you all have seen it, but it has a wedge on one side. It has the little point on the other. I use the little point. It wipes off a little easier when you're working. And I will use that to give it a little bit of a grainy center. And I'm going to kind of my leaves are not going to be real leaves. They're just going to be kind of suggestions of leaves. So that's kind of what I'm working at. I'm also going to be using a big brush. Now, for my background, I'll probably use this one. This is my Filbert. It's a big one. It's a size 12. Or I might be using, for the leaves, I might be using this one, which is a 3/4 inch Scharf, S-C-H-A-R-F-F brush. I love these. I use them all the time. You can see I'm more of a metal ferrule person. And then I don't really think I'm using much of other brushes at all with this. I might use a pointer. This is a pointer. I might use a pointer, but I might not. This is a number 2 pointer, so we'll see how it goes. So we're going to start with the center. Now, on my tile, I had holes on the back. You see these 2 holes here? And it hangs on the wall. So I marked the top of my tile up here. Some of these do, some of these don't. So you kind of have to decide what you're, which kind you have and what you're going to do. Now, I can do my background first. I really want it to be a bright turquoise. And that's probably the way I'm going to go this time. So let's try that. I'm going to take my deep blue green or my Tahiti, whichever color I prefer, and I'm just gonna slap it on. I'm gonna go all the way around and just kind of hit the highlights here. Now this is blue-green here. Up here is Tahiti, which is a little more blue, a little less green. I kind of like the Tahiti because I kind of like the blue. You could also use cobalt for your background if you don't have either of these colors and you do have a dark blue. It will look just as nice. I'm going to do a little here. Now you can go over the leaves. Remember, you can wipe these out if you need to. Yep, got my power. Yay! You don't know how much you miss the power until you don't have it anymore. Now I'm going through and I'm using the very back of my brush, holding it by the very back, and I'm just kind of lightly going over it. See how it kind of smooths it out? I'm afraid if I don't smooth it out, and I'm going right up to the edge here because I want whatever color I use on the outside, I want it to really stand out. So I'm trying to put this on darker than I normally would so you can see what I'm doing here. Remember though, if you don't get it too dark on this time, it always will get darker the next time. I just want it solid. So there's nothing fancy about this. If you're a beginner, this is a perfect starting project because all you want is a solid background. You don't have to do anything fancy. Just put it on and just feather it a little here and there. That's what this is called. When you hold it back, hold the brush back on the edge and just lightly wick, kind of flick it this way. That'll help get the color on. And I'm using like little C strokes, try to get it in where I want it. Now, will I do the edge of this time? I don't know if I'm going to paint the edge of it. We'll have to see. But I'm not going to paint the edge of it now, because if I paint the edge of it now, the next thing I know I'll have my hand in it all the time. So, okay. I'm using one of the turntables, and I like it because you're so used to going one direction with your hand that you can flip this around and it'll get you back the other direction. Okay, that's pretty much the background there. Now, I may want to put a little bit of the background up here by the leaves. See where the leaves are? These are leaves. They're just suggestions of leaves. I'm just putting a little background there and a little background here. I don't know if it'll stay there or not, but if it will, it'll be nice. Okay. Now I will take my Q-tip and sort of wipe out where I got a little more color than I wanted on my yellow because, you know, you really want the yellow to be nice. Yeah, Q-tip is not working as well as I'd like it to, so I think I'm going to go back and use my stump. There we go. Yeah. That should be yellow, that should be yellow, this should be yellow, this should be yellow. You don't have to wipe off all the yellow, but a little bit, especially on the edges, is probably good, just so you don't have that blue there. Okay. Now we're going to go and start and move in from the outside. Let me just get this guy off here. Okay, a little off here. I just took my brush and I dipped it in turp and I wiped it off real well, and that turpentine and that kind of gave me a little more to work with there. Okay, now I'm going to go to this brush, which is my 3/4 inch, and I'm going to use egg, a full load of egg, a little bit of sunflower yellow, and a side load of orange, because I want the orange near the bottom. See how pretty that is? And I'm doing the parts. Now this is, that's where the sun's, that's the top. The sun's coming this way, I would suppose. So I want to put the, here we go. I want to put the shadow in. I'm going to do the edges first. Let's just do the edges, because otherwise that shadow is going to get in my way. Okay, so you can take egg with a side load of sunflower and do the edges of this. And down here, I don't mind too much if it mixes up. This is the one that's laying flat like this. Because it's going to be in the background anyway. See what I mean? If you use the dark Sharpie, what's going to end up happening is you're going to find that it gets mixed up in your colors a little bit, and you really don't want that. Go. I'm just painting the edges, because the yellow will be the highlight on this. Yes, these are yellow. Full load of egg, side load of my sunflower. Or if you had a yellow orange, a maize, I think a maize would probably work too. I wouldn't do yellow brown though, not for the yellow on here, because you really want it to be a strong yellow. Okay, and then this over here is going to be a bud, if you wondered what it was. Okay, now I've got full load of sunflower, side load of the orange. So I'm coming down this way. My light's coming this way. My shadow is on this side. Here, it's more at the base, with a little bit more on that side. Here it's more at the base. Here it's more at the base. And now, if the sun's coming this way, the shadow shifts to this side. So see, here it's here, but on this side it's there. And I really want to get that orange vibrant. There we go. And a little more here. And I think I want to add a little more here. The darker you put it on now, kind of the better, because it's going to burn out a little. For some reason, the oranges always do. Egg plays well with this orange, so I don't have a problem with it. Here I'm just putting the orange at the base, pretty much. Maybe a little on the side. That's a little bright. I didn't want it quite that bright. There we go. And then the sun's coming this way, so on this one, I'm going to put it there. And these guys are just going to be almost more orange than anything. But I'm keeping them lighter because they're in the background more. Here we go. I'm only side loading my brush to do this. Now I'm just going to wipe out a few little highlights here and there. And I'm wiping it down, just like I did with the brush, down this way. And on this guy, I'm going to do it this way, this way, this way. Okay. This way. I'm taking it a little off the edges of each of these, just so I have some highlights, and the next time I can play with them. Okay, now for the center, this is a little odd. I know this is not the way they really are. Well, let's start with this one. This is going to be one that's going to be more the way the sunflowers are. These are my version of sunflowers, so it's going to be a little bit different than probably what you're used to. I'm going to take the brown here, and I'm just dabbing it. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to take my eraser, make sure it's clean, get right up on the point, wipe it off. When it fills up with, you'll know. There we go. This is a pointer. There we go. That's a pointer. Put a little back there, and I want a little more back in here. A little more back in here. There we go. Okay. So that's my pointer. And then I'm going to do something a little unorthodox. I'm going to start out with Tahiti or deep blue-green, and I'm just going to put it on the bottom half here, and on the top half here. I'm going to clean my brush really well. I'm going to side load now with an orange, and I'm going to put the orange, oops, I want a lot of orange on here. I'm going to put the orange in the middle, and I'm dabbing because I don't want to mix it with the other. And then I'm just going to pull it across. There we go. I just want a little orange in there. Having trouble. There we go. And then I'm going to take my brown with my pointer and start going around. This is going to take a little longer. Let's do it with the, let's just side load this square shader. This is my 3/4 inch square shader. And I'm just going to do it. I want it to be a little more. There we go. A little bigger than what I had with the other. There we go. I'll take this again. So it's kind of like the center is reflecting some of the colors that are around it. Now that's not really the way a sunflower goes. We all know that. So please don't be surprised. It's just my version of this sunflower. Okay, so I got that done. Now, I will put probably a little bit of brown and what have you in between the petals on the next fire, but I'm not doing it on this fire. And the reason I'm not doing it on this fire is because I don't want to do too much on this fire. I think I'm doing plenty. Okay, so now let's get down to these leaves. I'm doing a full load of moss, a side load of shading, which is blue, by the way, so. And I'm going right over this blue that I have on there, but I'm just sort of, I'm not doing it real heavy. I'm sort of just teasing it. And same thing here. Ah, there's too much paint on the end of my brush here. See those little blobs? That's what the too much paint did on the end of my brush. There we go. There we go. Okay. And moss with a full load of moss with a side load of green. And I'm just teasing it around. I'm going to put a little more dark on the edges here. I like this because I think it gives it more of a, almost like a watercolor effect. Let me just get, I think down the center here, I would like something that's a little more, there, that's a little better. The way I did that, let me show you, because everybody's going, what? What did she just do? Okay, so you get a leaf, and you want the center, so this is the leaf, okay? Okay. And you want the center to have a little substance to it. Side load your brush about halfway across, and then come down the center like this, and that will help add that center. Now I've got too much oil on my brush, you can see, but see how it helps? There's too much oil on my brush, but so that's kind of a quick and dirty of what I just did. It looks better on here because I painted a lot drier. This is my bud. That's it. And then I want to have a little stem there, a little flower, a little thing there. And now I'm going to go down to a lower brush. I'm going to use my 1/4 inch. I still have this green over here to do. Oh, too dark. Okay. Full load of moss, side load of shading, and I'm just painting these lower guys here. Kind of going across them. Now these are on the lower part, so they will be much more in shadow because my sun's coming this way. And I kind of like these little turnarounds. There's one there, there's one there. These don't have turnarounds, so I'm just gonna take the color right to the edge. Okay. Put a little bit of, just make them look a little more. Okay. I think I want a little more there. That's better. Okay. Now, what am I going to do for the edge? Well, first I'm going to take and try to wipe out the blue where I got it, where I don't want it. And this has a very pretty edge to it, so I'm looking at this and thinking, do I have enough highlight? Probably not. So let's, I think I want this one on top. Okay, and maybe a little highlight here. I know I wipe out my highlights rather than leave them. A lot of teachers are talented enough to be able to leave them. I don't always see them until the very end, and then I go, oh, well, I want to highlight there, and I want to highlight there. And so that's why I do it when I do it. Okay. Alrighty. Anyway, this is how it turned out. That's what we have so far. And it's just my version of sunflowers. So pick up your brushes, keep painting. See you next time.